anybody who's been on our planet for the last couple of months couldn't possibly have missed some of the issues that we see relating to large organizations, for example, sporting organizations, or in fact even governments, which bring to the forefront of our minds the small question of ethics. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to speak briefly this month about ethics. The other thing that struck me quite significantly is that when I was a student, quite honestly, we never had a course particularly on ethics. But nowadays we find that all students right across the world are given courses on ethics and how do you actually go about behaving. Now, part of me suggests or thinks that that's quite peculiar, because surely everybody should know what ethics are, what right and wrong is, and how to behave in any given situation. I think that we've all found ourselves remarkably embarrassed by certain things which initially one's very proud of, and then later on you discover that, in fact, in the background behind all of that was perhaps something which is ethically questionable, and it sort of put a little bit of a bad taste or a bad sight on something which we were very, very proud of previously. I think these are important things. One of the reasons why I think it's so important, however, that we start taking youngsters through courses on ethics is that if you think about it in the cold light of day, ethics do speak about not just common sense, but an area of right and wrong and moral principles. And my experience has been that as soon as you start speaking about something being right and something being wrong and moral principles, you immediately recognize that wherever you are on the planet, there are different interpretations of what right and what wrong is. And therefore, in any profession or in any given set of circumstances, we start to develop rules which encapsulate and capture our professional view of what right and wrong is, what good behavior is and what bad behavior is. And it's our obligation to make sure that every young practitioner is well versed in an understanding of what we consider to be ethically correct. Sometime in the future, I think I'd love to extend this conversation to not just what we do professionally, but even what happens in the context of research. One of the reasons for that is that I've been quite surprised at hearing in a scientific environment folk differentiating between perhaps, on the one hand, a consensus view, and on the other hand, a scientific view. And interestingly, these do not always align. When you undertake research, particularly research that's of a scientific nature, you've got to be absolutely honest about what you do so that everybody understands what the conclusions are and why, from a scientific perspective, they make sense.